My name's Navin Mal, I'm a young Labour activist from Wolverhampton.
So my name is Olubenga Ajayi. Everyone calls me Olu. Where I'm from, born in Nigeria, moved to the UK 9 years ago. Live in Wolverhampton most of my life now.
Hello guys, my name's Maya. I'm from Wolverhampton and I'm a young Labour member.
Daniel Smith, I'm from Wolverhampton and I represent Fitness Fitness.
I'm Chris and I'm from Wolverhampton. I'm a young Labour member.
I'm Beverly Moman-Abardi and I'm a councillor in Ettingshaw Ward in Wolverhampton.
Some of the people that you're going to hear from in this video wanted to share their own experiences of racism. Some of them have spent many years campaigning against oppression, hatred and division.
As someone who's black, you always sort of, first of all, it's always disheartening to see, people who look like you being treated in that way. That's the first thing, having people's lives just taken away, wherever they are in their journey in life, just, snuffed in that moment, without any care or concern. And then, you look at the events in your life as well, where you've been racially profiled or where you've been treated differently because of the colour of your skin.
Over the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of racial tension at the back end of, obviously, George Floyd being murdered.
Trump's response has been really damaging. It's been really irresponsible. It's hard to say that I'm surprised by it. He's really limiting the amount of First Amendment rights by setting up these police with riot gear, tear gas. It's blocking their right to protest, which is a First Amendment right over in America. And it's really setting the stage of how America is dealing with such a vital and big issue of playing with people's lives.
From the President and the American regime, and we're starting to see how this is affecting people's lives, not just in America, but this is about black people's lives across the world, and that includes Britain. We're not absolved from our responsibility when we look at our own police system, when we look at our own politics. So we see what's happening in America, and over there it might be rubber bullets and tear gas, but over here it's stop and search. And it's these microaggressions that we're really starting to witness from authority towards normal people.
I've been racially profiled, I've been called the N-word on buses, I've been treated differently at institutions I worked in many years ago. I've been in an office where someone's watching a really racist TV show and he's commented, those were the good old days. And this was talking about South African apartheid, right? So experience of racism, there's personal experiences of racism, being followed in stores, or continuously asked, about what I want in stores, even when you don't see that happen to other people. There are lots of events around racism.
In this country, black people, BAME people have obviously been subject of racism for a long time now, but obviously there's been a recent report that the government have delayed from actually releasing, the report into how COVID-19 has disproportionately affected members from the BAME community, and they delayed the report because they're anxious or they're afraid of the political backlash of such a report when they haven't acted and they have no idea the disproportionate effect on the BAME community. And from someone from the BAME community, that's really hurt me and really angered me, because it shows a blatant disregard for the lives of BAME people.
So I've experienced and witnessed racism in the workplace, in school, in the education system, in politics, in all sorts of places. A few examples. I've been offered opportunities for work because I'm a woman, and I've been told that you can have this opportunity and we want to offer you this opportunity because we don't have enough women working in this sector. And I arrived on the day that me and these other women were about to take on this opportunity, and I looked around the room, and rightly so, there were lots of women there who'd been offered this job opportunity. But I also noticed one thing: there wasn't a single black woman there, and that was here in Wolverhampton. And before I left that room, grateful for the opportunity, I was really compelled to tell someone at the top of that organisation that I was really grateful, but actually I'd noticed that there wasn't a single black woman in that room with those opportunities available? Okay.
There's been loads, there's been many from a young age. I think every black person has, it's just very, very common. My dad went through it, my grandparents went through it, mum went through it, everybody in my family has gone through it, and I've been made aware of it, so it's almost normal to me. I've learned to live with it, which is sometimes not really a good thing. At the same time, you know, I've prepared myself for the worst, but at the same time, like I said, I've always been shown, you know, treat everyone equal, so I've been happy to be amongst, you know, my people, whether white, Asian, whatever. You know, I don't segregate anybody, but my personal experiences I've had, you know, I've been framed by police with drugs. I've been obviously racially attacked, verbally that is. I've had all kinds of things. I've been in situations where I think people are maybe looking at me and stereotyping me in a certain situation, so I don't have confidence in that situation. Like I said, I've adapted, and I'm looking at the positives from this personally. I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. I'm trying not to fuel any aggressive natures, but the message does need to be put out there, definitely.
There's practical advice that you can give people to stop racism, and you don't need to understand it. You should try and educate yourself first on the reasons why racism is such a plague on our country. But even if you don't understand racism, you know when something's right or wrong. You know when someone is being treated poorly. You know when someone is not being treated fairly. You know when someone is being typecast for the colour of their skin. You know that, and you can see that, and it's got to be embarrassing. It's got to be embarrassing to be the only white person to stand up and say, no, that's wrong. But you're going to have to be, because we need to stand together to try and wipe this out. Racism isn't a problem for black people, it's a problem for everyone. It's all of our responsibilities to get rid of racism. We can't leave it to a small group of people. We need to do it together, or else we won't change anything.
The reason why I support Black Lives Matter, and why I always will and always have, is because, you know, there comes a time in your life when you need to think, am I on the right side of history, and am I standing up for people that do not have a voice, or they have a voice and it's just not looked upon that much. Do you know what I mean?
Nobody is trying to say that Black lives matter more than any other lives. At the moment there's a huge injustice, and I think we need more justice for black people. We need to be recognised for who we are. There needs to be a lot more positivity around what we actually do, and people generally need to push the positive side of us more than the negative. So let's get behind each other.
So that's why I will support Black Lives Matter now. I'll support it in the future, and I've always supported it.
And that's why I support the Black Lives Matter movement, because the Black lives do matter.
That's why I support the Black Lives Matter movement.
And that's why I support Black Lives Matter.
And those are the reasons why I support Black Lives Matter.